Welcome back. This is the first shading exercise. We're going to be using this picture from Eddie Edwards' Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain book. This is a self-portrait of the French artist Gustave Courbet. I always call it the pipe smoking fisherman. We're going to work from it upside down so that the shapes of light and dark don't force their name on us. We're trying to train our brain to just capture shapes of light and dark. This is a good value study. This is the whole objective here. Might be a good idea for you to see how dark your pencil can go. I'm going to be drawing with a 6B. The B means black, so this is 6 times blacker than a regular pencil if you have drawing pencils at home. The H means hard, so harder lead will give you a much lighter value. The B, black, will give you a lot darker value. Let's do a little value scale here. I got a blender stump here, tortillon. So you can see how dark you can go in a gradual blending with that. So I'm going to go pretty fast, and feel free to pause the video if you need to. I'm going to begin right here with this shape. It looks like a little sailboat shape. Where is it on the paper? A little bit up from the bottom. How big is it? I'm going to do about a 1-to-1 transfer. So I just begin to erase the shape of light that I see. Again, kind of looks like a little boat shape. Erasing that out. And then there's a little angle shooting off to the upper left of that. It is going to be the nose, but try to just see it as a shape of light. So we're trying to train our eye to see shapes of light and dark. This shape of light comes over and hooks down like this. Drawing with the eraser out of a toned background. Before I began this drawing, obviously, I took my 6B pencil and toned the background and blended it in a little bit with a paper towel or a blending stump. As I'm seeing the shapes of light, I also want to try to see some of the shapes of dark. So not only are we seeing them as shapes, but we're trying to capture how dark or light those shapes are. So with just a little bit of pressure from the 6B pencil, you can begin to capture some darker values just underneath, or I guess it would be above the nose shape here. We have some darkness. Just try to keep matching those shapes as you see them. And then we go to a nice dark line right there. Just try to see it as a line, as a contour, connecting to this shape of light, and there's another one, shape of light right there. A little bit of darkness here, another little bit of light right there. It's going to be for the chin. And this angle of the pipe is going to be pretty important. Don't make it look like it's coming out from his nose, make it look like it's coming out from the mouth there. I want to just begin with the contour, extending out that way. Of course, there's light on this side of it. There's a little dark shadow over here on this side. All of this is wrapped around and connected in shadow. There's a pretty important line right there on the side of the nose, and then another good piece of light right there. There's a clear big bow shape right here. It's going to be for the brim of the hat. So erase that out. And then kind of a trapezoid shape on top of the hat. Should see shapes of light and dark again. This shadow of the eye does kind of connect over here. Comes up a little bit. And then all outside that big shape of the hat that we just erased definitely is going to be dark. Darkness here. And just continue this on down. There's some really nice shapes of light and dark down here in the collar, mostly triangular in nature. Clear triangle right here, so if you can erase that. Some triangles, longer triangles coming down here is going to be for the coat. And then try to match some of the darker values. You'll be surprised what you can capture with just a simple perception of shapes of light and dark, and also how light and dark are those shapes. Then the fun part comes in. We get to use our blending tool. Look over here and match a few of these darker values. And we get to do some of that softening of the edges, or the diffused light look. You don't want to cover up the pipe. Just get around it a little bit. Definitely darker over here. I'm going to take my blender, begin pulling some of those dark areas together, very softly modeling the edges, softening the edges for kind of a diffused light look. Again, I'm going a little fast. If you guys want to pause the video and take the steps one step at a time, might be a good idea. Some of that gradual value transition from the black over to the dark gray, over to the light gray. If you feel like your shapes aren't really right, like you need to kind of change some of them, for example, maybe that one's too big or too small, just use your eraser and shape them up. Might get a better sense of that when we flip the drawing over, which we're about to do. And hopefully it'll look like your guy is kind of emerging out of the shadows a little bit there. And take the time to fine-tune your drawing, meaning continue to define where the darkness is, where the light is, and just pull stuff together. Don't be afraid to make the dark values as black as they need to go. That's the beginning drawing students usually are afraid to push those shadows to as dark as they can get. And just spend some time blending stuff together, and you should be pretty happy with the way it turns out, I hope. It's a real simple exercise in seeing value as shapes of light and dark.